Hello everyone, I'm here to solve a Sudoku titled Concourse C, and this Sudoku was created by Philipp Blume, aka Glum Hippo. I saw this Sudoku on the Discord server and was really captivated by the pattern. Entropic lines variant is always an interesting variant to solve, and this Sudoku has the entropic line variant and the consecutive clones constraint. So I thought of giving this Sudoku a try. I've tried this Sudoku yesterday and I found this extremely fun to solve. So I thought of making a video on this Sudoku for today. The link to solve this is in the description of the video. Please do give it a try and come back and watch the video. And if you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. We'd really appreciate. We've been posting videos more than 2 years now, and the small thing that we would ask you if you're regularly watching our videos is to subscribe to the channel, and that is the only way you can show our support. And you can also show your support by becoming a Patreon of the channel. Please check out Patreon page. The link is in the description again. We've posted many Patreon rewards. You can check those out, and if you decide to support, we'll be happy. So I'll jump into the rules now. Classic Sudoku rules apply. So check this screen. Yeah, it's fine. Each row, each column, and 3x3 box in the grid has digits 1 to 9, and digits along the orange entropic line must be arranged so that any group of 3 subsequent digits contain one each of the digits, which are from the sets 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, 8, 9. So if you start from this point, let's say, and take 3 consecutive digits, they must be containing one from 1, 2, 3, the other from 4, 5, 6, the other from 7, 8, 9, but it can be in any order. But any 3 successive digits must follow this pattern. So this is the entropic rule variant, and this keeps following until the end of the line. So you can go along this spiral and reach till this point, and it has to follow the same pattern. The next part is the consecutive clone part. Digits in congruent blue shapes or consecutive clones. That is, digits in corresponding positions in the shape must be consecutive digits. So congruent shapes are nothing but which have the same shape. You can see here, these have the same shape, and these two have the same shape. These boxes look similar, and these lines have same shape. So there are 4 sets of similar shapes in the grid, and all these must have the consecutive digits in corresponding positions. So let's say we look at these shapes and these 2 cells. If you have, for example, 1 here, then this cell must be consecutive to that, and it must be a 2. So these are the rules, and with that we'll start this excellent Sudoku by Philipp Blume. And it's been quite a while since we've covered a video on a Sudoku by Philipp Blume. His Sudokus are always quite fascinating, and of course hard and fun to solve, challenging too. So let's start from here and mark every 3 digit with a color. The reason I'm doing is because they all will be from the same set, right? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So let's mark them with red maybe. So if you assume that this is, let's say, 4, 5, 6, then every third cell from that, so this will be from 1, 2, 3 or 7, 8, 9, and this will be from 1, 2, 3 or 7, 8, 9, and again the third cell must be from the set 4, 5, 6. So every third cell must be from the similar set. So these are the rules. So I'm doing nothing different but just using the rules. Okay, so now the second cell to all these colored cells must also be from the same group. So it makes sense to color them. Yeah, so let's use yellow perhaps, or maybe let's use green. And now the remaining cells must all be from the same group. All right, so this is the first step I did in this Sudoku. The next thing you can see is, look at box 8. You have 2 greens in here, you have 2 blues in here, and you have 2 reds in here. In any box, in any row or in any column, there will exactly be 3 reds, 3 blues, and 3 greens. This is obvious, right? Because you will have 3 instances of 1, 2, and 3, which will, let's say, make up for red, and 3 instances of 4, 5, and 6, which will, let's say, make up for green, and the remaining 3 instances will be of the other color. So which means these 3 cells, in order to make the count of colors valid, must contain exactly 1 red, 1 blue, and 1 green, and this can be in any order. And now if you look at row 8 in totality, you already have 3 greens. A green from these this 1 by 3 domino, and 2 greens are already marked because of the entropic line. So which means that your 8 cannot be a green. So 8 is either red or blue. And similarly, all these left out cells also must be red or blue. They cannot be green. So we can easily deduce that these 2 greens here, and so are the greens which are distributed across the grid, cannot be from the set 7, 8, and 9. This is the first thing that you can notice in the grid. The next thing you can see is, look at these shapes. They should give us some information. There is a red here and there is a blue here. So these 2 cells are from different colors. So which means the only way they can be consecutive is if you take the extremities of the sets. You cannot, for example, take, let's say, 2 here. Let me put a 2 here. Then instantly this will either be 1 or 3, but then this is forced to be a red again. So that's not possible. So this shows us that you have to take the extremities of each of the sets. So for example, if you take 1, 2, 3, you have to take 3. 1 is ruled out because that will force a 2 in the other color, and both will be the same color. So I can take a 3. I can take a 4 because 4 can be consecutive to 3 and it will be from a different set. I cannot take a 5 because if you have, let's say, 5 here, this will be a 4 or a 6 and both will be from the same set. So we don't want that. So 3 can be taken, 4 can be taken, 6 can be taken because it becomes consecutive to 7, which is from a different set. And 7 can be taken similarly because it can be consecutive to 6. And none other digits can be taken. If you, for example, take 8 or a 9, the max you can get is a 7, 8, or 9 here. And that will be from the same set. So we can make use of this interesting fact to deduce that the digits in both of these cells must be 3, 4, 6, and 7. There is no other option possible. You can try out any other digit. You'll see that both will be from the same colors. And now the next similar step. These 2 cells, same idea, are from different colors and they are consecutive. So they must be 3, 4, 6, and 7. There is no other possibility. Okay. So the next thing to notice is these 2 sets of colors. If this is, let's say, 3 and 4, then this is forced to be a 6 and a 7. There is no other way. And similarly, if this is 6 and 7, then this is forced to be a 3 and 4. Let's see what happens. For example, let me put a 3 here. Then in order to be consecutive, this is 4. Now look at this cell. It is seeing both row 5, column 5 and row 7, column 6. So it cannot be 3 and 4. So it has to be 6 or a 7. And which means this is also supposed to be a 6 and 7. And similarly, it works the other way around. If you have 6, 7 here, this cell will see both of these cells and become 3, 4. And similarly, this will also become 3, 4. So in short, if these are 3, 4, these will be 6, 7. And if these are 6, 7, these will be 3, 4. That's what I wanted to say. But look at this cell, green cell. We know that it cannot be from the set 7, 8, 9 because of the deduction here. So 7 can be eliminated here, and which means from its consecutive cell, you can eliminate the 6. If you don't have a 7 here, how on earth can you have a 6 here? So this is the second thing you can do. And the next thing is, look at these cells. They are going to give us a really interesting deduction. They are either 3, 4 or 6, 7. Can they be 3, 4? Look what happens. This is red and this is blue. So if this is 3, 4, then the green must be from the set 7, 8 and 9, because one of the sets 1, 2, 3 is taken from this set, this color, and the other set 4, 5, 6 will be taken from this color. So green is forced to be 7, 8 and 9, which is clearly not possible. So this proves that this set has to be 6 and 7. There's no other go, and which means this set has to be 3, 4. This is forced. This is 6. 6 is eliminated. 7 is eliminated. 3, 4. And now comes the really beautiful and important reduction of Philipp Blume, aka glum hippo. Really nice reduction. Look at these two colors. They are both red. And the only way you can make them work if you eliminate the 3 from here and you eliminate the 7 from here. So if you have, for example, 3 here, then you must have 1 and 2 to both be from the same set, but that is clearly not possible. And if you have 7 here, and then this must be 8 or a 9, so that both are from the same set. That is also not possible. So the only possibilities are 6 here and 4 here, and which means these two are from the set 4, 5, 6, right? What a reduction. Excellent. And now this is forced. This is 7. This is 3. And now we know that greens are from 1, 2 and 3, and we can quickly mark all the greens in the grid with 1, 2 and 3. And similarly, all the reds in the grid with 4, 5 and 6. Oops, this is not red. So all these must be 4, 5 and 6. And all the remaining colors, which are blue, must be 7, 8 and 9. So I hope I have not left out anything. And now we can make use of the givens to eliminate some digits. This is not a 4. This is not a 3. This is not 8. That's not 8. You have an 8 here. You have 6. So this is not 6. You have 4, 7. So this is not 7. That's 8 and 9. And 1 is here. So this is 2, 3. This is 2, 3. This is 2, 3. Anything else? You have 3 here. This will be 2, which means this is 1 or 3. So we got some really quick eliminations here. So notice that there is a triplet along this column, 7, 8, 9, which we can use later perhaps. Okay, now notice row 2 column 3 and row 3 column 5. Both must be consecutive. So regardless of if you have 1 or a 3 in this cell, I'm sorry, this cell, row 3 column 5, this is forced to be a 2. Let's put a 2 there, which means you have 2 in these two cells by the power of Sudoku, and that eliminates 2 here along this column. And now look at these two cells. The only way they can be consecutive is if it takes a 3 and that takes a 4. So we can quickly nail that in. There is nothing to think there. And that 4 gives us some more digits. It's not a 4, that's 5, 6. Sorry, remove the color by mistake. So that's a 5 and 6. And 4 here removes the 4 here. That's 5 and 6. 3. So this is not 3. It's 1 and 2. Okay. 4 is not in row 3. So in box 2, 4 goes here. And that puts 4 here. So I remember doing a bit of a Sudoku stuff along this stage. Look at this cell, row 2 column 7. It's 7 or a 9. Then this must be obviously 6 or 8. No other possibility can go into that cell. And small thing to notice, if this cell is odd, then obviously this has to be even so that they are consecutive. Next step, what do? We know that these are consecutive and they must be 5, 6 in some order. So this cell cannot be 5 and 6 as it is seeing both of these cells. So this cannot be 5 and 6. It cannot be 1 and 3. It cannot be 7. So this is 2, 4, 8 and 9. But can this be a 9? Then its consecutive pair is supposed to be 8, which is clearly not possible. So that's 2, 4 or 8. And you'll see that the other possibilities are quite possible. You can have 2, 4 or 8 here. Okay, look at this cell. It cannot be 1, 3 or 6. So this is 2, 4, 5, 7, 8 and 9. So you can, get a little bit concerned seeing so many digits, but the next step itself reduces lots of possibilities. So you can't have 9 here because that forces 8 in this cell, which is clearly not possible. And 7 is also ruled out because you have 6, 8 here and both are not possible. 5 is also ruled out because both 4 and 6 are not possible. So that's 2, 4 and 8. Rest of the digits are possible. And now if you look at this box, and for this deduction I took about 5 minutes because it was a classic deduction and it could easily be missed. 7 has no other option except this cell. So retrospectively this looks easier, but during the solve I was only focusing on the variant part and I missed this. So 7 gets forced here, which means this cell, the consecutive partner, must be 6 or 8. And 7 here removes the 7 here, so that's 8 and 9. 3 is not here, 3 is not here, 3 is forced in here. And if you look where the 9 goes, there are only 2 possibilities for 9, either this cell or this cell. Let's look at this cell. Row 3, column 3. Cannot be 1, 2, 4, 3 and 7. So 5, 6, 8, 9 are the possibilities. But if you look at this cell, it's clear that this cannot be 8 or a 9. Because putting an 8 and 9 here forces something which is not consecutive in here. This is also 5 and 6. We get a 5, 6 pair here. Okay, that's nice. This cell is even, so which means this cell is odd. So there is no way 2 is going to be placed here. So 2 gets pushed here. And now if I look at these two cells, they can't be 2, 4. They cannot be 6, 8 or 7, 9. So these two cells are 1, 3, 5. No other possibility there. And you have a 5, 6 pair here. So this is not a 5. That's 1 and 3. And that's not a 1. That's 3, 5. And now look at these two cells again. 8 is ruled out from here. This is 2, 4. And if I look at row 3 now, I have 2 sets of pairs, 1, 3 and 5, 6. So remaining cells are clearly 7, 8 and 9. This is not a 7. Okay, 7, 8, 9s are blue, so I can make use of that fact. So let's mark the blues in. Now if you look along this column, there are 3 blues. So obviously this is not a blue, that's a red. And we know that 8 is blue now because 7, 8, 9 is from the blue set. So that's blue. Look at these two cells. Excellent. 1, 2, 5, 6 and 7, 8, 9 are ruled out. So that leaves a neat little domino 3, 4. Which contains the digits 3 and 4. The only way to place them is by putting the 4 here and the 3 here. These two cells are 7, 8, 9. No 7 here. And look at this 3. This is giving some information. 3 can't go here. 3 goes here. That pushes the 3 in box 5. 3 is forced here. And that 3 gives me a 1. So we are quietly getting all the digits now. And look at this column, column 7. This cell particularly, it can only be 2 or a 5. 1, 6, 8, 7 and 9 and 3 and 4 are eliminated. So it can only be 2, 5. So what next? Coming back to this cell, since this is even, so this is supposed to be odd, which means 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. 3, 7 get eliminated fast, so this is 1, 5 and 9. 4 is here, so that forces 5 here, would have been done long back, which means these two cells are 1, 2 and 6, and red is from the set 4, 5, 6, so this will be 6. That's not 6, that's 1 and 2, and that makes it green, and you have a 1, 2 pair here now. 6 here forces 6 out of this cell, 4, 5. Okay. These 3 cells cannot take 4, 5 or 6. So which means they can't be red. They must only be green or blue. Okay, this is in particular 1 or 2. Pencil marks 3, 4, 7, 8, 9. You have a triplet here, 7, 8, 9. So this is not 5 and 6, 2. So this can only be 1 and 2. And that makes it green. Oh, I have placed a digit here, guys. So which means its consecutive partner is forced to be a 2. That makes both of these cells 1, right? You had 1, 2 here. So which means this is 1, this is 1. That makes this 2. That makes this 3. This 2 gives a 1 here. And that forces 1 in box 2. And look at row 6. 4 and 7 can't be here. So that puts 4, 7 in this domino, which is quickly resolved. 7, 4. This becomes 8, 9, making it blue. So these are 2, 5, 6 for the box. And 2 is not in column 6. That's 5, 6. That gives 2 here. And this is not 2. So that's 4 and 8. And which means its consecutive partner cannot be 1. Because 2 just got ruled out. This is 5 and 9. Nice Sudoku, such a nice Sudoku. Okay, where does the 4 go in column 7? 4 is posed here, this is 4. And which means its consecutive partner must be 5 here. That gives 2 here. And these two cells cannot take 6. So 6 is posed here. And that forces its consecutive partner as 7. This is 7. And that gives 9 here, which means this is not 9, 7 and 8. And let's finish off this column. This is 3, 5. Okay, this is not 4. I'm sorry, actually that is a 4. Which means these two cells are not 4. That's 5, 6. Look at column 4. Where does the 2 go? 2 goes here. And that finishes off that column. 4 is posed here. Only cell which can take a 4, and this will be 5 or a 6. And look at column 6, this cannot be 5, that's 4, 6, so which means this will also be 4 and a 6. So at the end of the Sudoku, you'll notice that we have not colored all the cells, which was not required because the Sudoku gets over before that. So that's a 5, and which means this will be, sorry, you have a 4, 6 pair here, so that's a 5. That gives a 6 here. And this will be 8, 9 for the row. Okay, look at these cells. They must be 4, 8, 9, 2, 6 and 7. So this left out cells must be 1, 3 and 5. And this is 7 or a 9 for the box. And that makes it blue. Okay. A 5 here forces its consecutive partner to be 6, which gives a 5 here. Excellent. And now, what do we do? That's good. Look at these two cells. They are consecutive, which means one of them must be even. And the only even digit you notice in these two cells is 8. And which means this cell, which sees both of these cells, cannot be 8. Because 8 is in one of these cells. That's a 7 and a 9. So 8 goes in here now, in row 3. And that removes 8 from here. Okay. And if you look along this column, where does the 9 go? 9 is forced into these two cells, and which means this cell cannot be a 9. So that's 8. And that quickly resolves this 9 and 8, giving a 7, 9 here. And now 5 here gives us 6 here. And 6 is forced in this domino into here. 2 and 3. So this is a 1. 6. So this domino is resolved. 6 and 4. This will be 5 or 7 for the row. 7 here removes the 7 here. So that's 8 and 9. An 8, 9 pair. So that gives 7. So this becomes 8, 9. And 2 in row 7 has only one cell. So 2 goes here. Which means the box takes 3, 5, 7. That's not a 7. So 7 is forced here. So you can see that the Sudoku is still not become dead easy. Seems still some activity going on. So 1 here gives a 3. That gives 5. That gives 5. That gives 3 here. That gives 1 here. So which means this is 7. That is 3. And these will be 5, 8, 9. Okay, so look at this row. This can be completed now. That's a 4, which means that's not 4. So 4 goes here, and which means its consecutive partner here must be a 5. So this can be resolved. That's a 9. That's a 7. That's 8. And that's 7, 9, which means that has to be a 9. That has to be a 7. And 1 goes here for row 7. So this will be 8, 9. This will be a 7. Okay. Look at this column. Left out digits are 6, 8, and 9. Some small thing we are missing somewhere. What am I missing here? Can we make use of this? Oh, you have a 7 here, so this could be 6 or 8. Am I missing something here? It suddenly doesn't seem the same as yesterday. I hope I've not made any error here. This 9. This has to be consecutive here. So this has to be 8, which means this is 9. That's 8, that's 9, that's 8, that's 9. And 9 is forced in box 3 here, which means this is 9, this is 8. And column 9 can be completed 5, 5, 6, 6, and 8. And with that, we have completed this really gorgeous Sudoku by Philipp Blume. What a Sudoku. Really an excellent solve this. And as you can see, I have not colored all these cells and Sudoku has been completed. If you really enjoyed this Sudoku, please leave a comment and a like under the video. And do remember to subscribe to the channel. We'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.